When we talk about being God or God self, being true self, being awareness, or just being in the spiritual and manifesting world, all of which mean the same thing, by the way, what we are really discussing is not a practice or an effort to become something that we are not, but a recognition of what we have always been. Always. So you cannot practice being God because you are God. You are awareness. You are already being. This is not about adopting a role or becoming something you are not. It's about recognizing and resting in what you have always been. That's why emphasizing the term embodiment, embodying God, it often suggests a journey towards becoming. But here it is the opposite. This is about waking up to and consciously resting in your true nature, which is God or awareness, not striving towards a new state. And before we dig in further, I want you to, and if you want to directly experience the truth of who you are and see past your specific troubling stories to manifest the life you truly want without feeling like a fraud, reach out to me via email at hello@anilareddy.com or check out my weightless no separation experience. It's a little taste of your true nature in the description below. So the expressions being God self, I am awareness, I am God, I am all point to a direct, a profound truth. God or awareness is not a distant or a distinct entity. It isn't outside of you, nor is it a personality separate from your own being. It is inherently who you are, intimately woven into the very fabric of your existence. This realization is not about separating yourself into what is sacred and what is mundane. It is about acknowledging that at your core, your awareness, God self, consciousness, some might also call this love, freedom, presence, or I am. The names are really just so many names to the same experience of God. So understand this, the concept of being God or awareness is not about transcending your human experience to touch something divine out there, nor is it simply a method or a weird concept. It is about diving into the truth already present right here and right now within you, recognizing that you are the divine experiencing itself in every moment. This is not a practice, but a continuous recognition, a resting in reality as it truly is, unfiltered, uncontrived, and truly just very simple. So each time you acknowledge, I am awareness, or I am God or God self, you are not reaching for an ideal. You are acknowledging the inherent truth of your existence. You are pointing to the fact, not a belief, the fact that there is no separation between you and the divine, because you are the divine expressed uniquely as you. I also have a video on why separation is impossible to take you through a guided activity there. So this realization shifts how you engage with the world. It turns every moment into an act of divine expression, seamlessly blending what you are with all that you experience. So now let's dive into what I call a guided pause. Just a simple activity, a question to directly experience your true nature. First, tune into the sound of my voice or any sound around you. Ask yourself, are you aware of this sound? Naturally, your response is, yes, I am. This is not a belief. This is your experience. Now deepen this inquiry. Are you aware of being aware of the sound? Again, you'll find the answer is a resounding, yes, I am. This direct experience of being aware, this is God. This is awareness itself. You've just tapped into the essence of being God or awareness just now. It is this straightforward. It's really so simple. Yet it is obviously profound, right? It is an important realization. Now let's explore this awareness further. Well, what are the qualities of this awareness? Or what are the qualities of this essence of God? It's the same thing. Observe its openness. It is always non-resistant, effortlessly allowing thoughts, emotions, and events to flow through without clinging or rejecting. This is the nature of awareness. It resists nothing. It allows everything to be just as it is. It embraces everything. So awareness, or God, whatever you want to call it, is boundless, without face, without form. It's the endless backdrop to all experiences. Yet it's untouched by any experience. Just spend a moment here noticing. If you let go of all labels, thoughts, memories, and preconceptions, what remains? What is the quality of this moment? Ask yourself this. This raw, unlabeled experience is what being God truly feels like. It is formless, endless. It's peaceful. It's complete. This is not just some exercise. It's a glimpse. It's an activity to recognize who you truly are. This formless, faceless expanse that you're experiencing, this is God. This is awareness. And you are that effortlessly so. Just play with this realization a bit. Let it sink in that every label or story you've ever been told or told yourself is just that. A story. The reality is this endless, formless presence you are now experiencing. This is what it means to be God self or awareness. This is the simplicity and the importance of your true nature. Understanding that you don't need to eliminate your thoughts, emotions, or even the labels and the language you use every day is key to living freely as your true self, as God or awareness. It's not about discarding these parts of your human experience, but rather seeing them for what they are, temporary expressions within awareness. So throughout your day, simply return to this understanding, this direct experience. It's not a mental understanding, it's your actual experience, embodied, driven by curiosity, not compulsion. This gentle returning and resting is how you connect with your God self. By doing this, you remain unattached to labels and thoughts naturally, liberating yourself to engage with all of life, with everything that in your world, in your day-to-day life. So now you're not entangled in the experiences. You're free to use labels and language without getting attached to them. This is fun because now you're enjoying your life. From here on, I'm going to use the term awareness and not God because it carries a more neutral connotation. Awareness is the fundamental essence that perceives all thoughts, emotions, and experiences. Indeed, so the very core of every thought, every feeling, every event is awareness itself. It is all made of awareness. Yet, our suffering stems from identifying with a specific form of awareness, which I call the separate self. It's a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. This identity is a confined, limited version of ourselves crafted from thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, which we then spend our lives defending and nurturing. So by playing with this guided pause that I've just shared with you, you recognize that you're not merely the content of your thoughts, your emotions, your experiences, but that you are the expansive, the vast, formless presence that observes all these experiences. This awareness is without face, without form. It underlies or underpins everything and knows all things. It contains or encompasses all things and experiences, everyone. When you connected with it through the guided pause, you touch the essence of being one with God or one with your true self, or what it means to truly rest in your awareness, your I am. You just noticed that, you just experienced it. This is the essence of resting in your true nature. It's not about escaping life, but fully immersing in it with the understanding that you are fundamentally the unbounded awareness experiencing it all. Here you are not confined by any identity or story. You are free, endlessly open, simply being awareness itself. This is what it means to live as your true self. This is what it means to be one with God, deeply at peace within all of life's experiences. There's no need for strict discipline, willpower, or rigorous schedules when it comes to resting and embracing your true nature as awareness or God. This is not something to be forced or controlled. It's a matter of being open, being curious. So remember, discipline is only required when you're trying to become something you are not. Being God self or awareness is not about making grand declarations or undergoing some dramatic transformations or feeling like it's the 4th of July, some wild awakening. It's not that. It's often a quiet, clear realization of your inherent unity with everything and everyone. A realization like the one you experienced just now, a few moments ago, when you connected with your God self, again, just now. You don't have to chase a particular feeling. Let's clarify something important. Although I use the term connecting in truth, you and God, you and awareness are not separate. There's no actual connection going on or connection to be made because there is no separation. The idea of a path often arises when we've entangled ourselves with our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. This is what I call the separate self. In these moments, using my guided pause, just like I've provided, can feel like you're connecting with your God self. But really, these are just helpful tools, pointers to remind you of what you always are, which is God self or awareness. It's easy to forget this in the hustle of everyday life. Really, it can be, I know. And that's why it seems a path is necessary. This is the direct path, always leading you back to the awareness that you inherently are, even if you momentarily forget. This forgetting or overlooking your true nature is what leads you and I to have or experience so-called problems and experience unwanted manifestations in our lives. But when you recognize and rest consciously in your true nature as awareness, life will obviously align to what you truly want. It aligns with harmony, abundance, and fulfillment. This is not about connecting to something external. It's about waking up to the reality that you are always, you have been always, that you are always already what you seek. So embrace this understanding and watch as your life transforms, not through effort, but through the simple recognition of your true self. You and awareness are not two separate entities. You are one and the same. Your human form, like everything else in existence, is merely an expression of awareness of God. Think of it this way. Just as a wave is part of the ocean, inherently inseparable from it, so too are you inseparably part of the vast experience of awareness. I use the term true self to point towards this understanding, but even this phrase doesn't fully capture the essence. No word can. Even saying awareness, God, it doesn't capture the full essence of who you are. There is no higher self to reach out to, no state of being that you need to acquire. Again, God is not a state, it's not a higher self. You're already in that space of awareness or God. This very act of trying to label this infinite experience, it falls short. The closest we can come to describing it truly is just silence, which is why silence is often referred to as the highest truth. It's important not to get too attached to these labels, please. While labels can be useful as signposts guiding you back to your true nature, they are not your destination. They are not at all. Throughout our lives, we are conditioned to identify with a limited self, Anila, Mary, John, made of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that seems distinct from everything and everyone else. This mistaken identity builds a sense of separation in us, a divide between us and the world around us. However, when you awaken to the truth of who you really are as God or as awareness, when you recognize that you are fundamentally the awareness or God that you have been searching and seeking, you come to rest in this understanding naturally. This realization is not about acquiring new, to getting to some new level, to transcending. It's about waking up to what has always been true. In this waking up, you find that you are not apart from anything or anyone. You are awareness itself. You're seamlessly woven into the fabric of all existence, like I mentioned. When we operate from this perspective of our separate self, we often fall into the trap of believing that our individual human identity, whether it's called Anila, Mary, John, or Joseph, whatever, is somehow endowed with divine attributes or is itself a separate God or awareness. This belief builds the notion of multiple gods or multiple awarenesses, which is a misunderstanding of the true non-dual nature of reality. The term non-dual literally means not two, implying that there is only one. This misconception leads us to think that our human forms, our human states possess some extraordinary power to affect change in the world or manifest desires on its own. However, that's not how it works. The human form is merely playing its assigned role. It itself is a manifestation. Its actions and experiences are manifestations of the state it embodies at any given moment. The human form itself is a manifestation. So how can a manifestation itself possess any inherent power of its own? It cannot. The real power lies within awareness, which is the substance or the source behind every manifestation in your world. Your physical form, along with everything else you perceive, is a manifestation or expression of this awareness. Again, since a manifestation of awareness cannot itself manifest or create anything, it becomes clear that the concept of a personal self or ego or a state having the power to manifest is fundamentally flawed. So the separate self or ego, which we often identify as a personal identity, is not truly manifesting anything. It is awareness that manifests, in other words, reveals, contains and comprises all experiences. If your physical form is a manifestation of awareness, and it stands to reason that it cannot independently, cannot manifest any other experience. It does not have the capacity to do so, because it itself is a manifestation. It is not the source of your manifestations. Recognizing this helps to dissolve the illusion of separation and the false empowerment of the individual ego. It shifts our understanding from seeing ourselves as isolated agents, navigating the world, doing techniques to manifest what we want, to recognizing ourselves as integral expressions of the all-encompassing awareness that is the true nature of everything. In this realization, in this resting, we see that we are not separate entities with personal power, but are instead the universal manifesting power of awareness itself, experiencing itself through the various forms and events of life. Manifestations arise directly from awareness, which is continuously aware and inherently comprises all things at all times, all people at all times. There is no delay or limitation within awareness. When you're resting in awareness, it encompasses everything instantly and effortlessly. The concept of the separate self, comprised of thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, does not stand in the way of awareness when you recognize yourself as this awareness. This is because the separate self does not have substantial existence. It is illusory. It does not have any existence beyond these temporary mental constructs. So re-engage with the guided pause exercise I introduced earlier. Simply rest in your true identity as awareness or God. And now bring a desire, an affirmation, or a visual to mind if you want. Observe how this desire feels within you. You will likely notice that there is no resistance to it when you are firmly rooted in awareness. This lack of resistance is a sign that you are not separate from your desire. It feels as though it is already a part of you, inherently present in this very moment. And if any resistance surfaces, once again use the guided pause I mentioned earlier and you'll see that it gets dissolved. When you're free from this resistance, you naturally stop craving the outcome because it feels intrinsically fulfilled. It is not about needing something external to complete you. You realize it's already integrated within your awareness. So, maintaining this experience, first of all, you don't have to maintain, but maintaining or resting in this experience is not about effort or trying to hold on to it. You simply acknowledge that you are already this awareness. You keep returning to this. You don't need to cling to it or enforce it because it is your fundamental nature already. Return to this realization spontaneously when you feel like it throughout your day. Whenever it feels right to you. Whenever it feels like you're caught up in your stories. This is not about disciplining yourself or to stay in a particular state. It's not about that. It's about recognizing that you naturally exist as this awareness. As you live from this place of awareness, naturally states of love, abundance, fulfillment arise, and your manifestations unfold from these states effortlessly, because they are not separate from who you inherently are. They are expressions of your true self, manifesting seamlessly in your experience. So simply returning or noticing this awareness throughout your day is all it takes for the illusion of separate self to dissolve and for you to embrace your desires without any resistance. So simply play with this. It can be easier said than done, but play with it. From this space of true awareness, there is no need to engage in battles with your thoughts or to argue against them, because it becomes evident that thoughts on their own do not possess any intrinsic power over you. And so it's important to remember that the moment you are aware of a desire, you embody the desire. You're already embodying that desire. This realization is the basis of what I term my, or what I call my pause, rest experience, or pause, rest, reveal method. It's not about doing something or applying a technique. It's about recognizing your fundamental nature as awareness or God self. Being aware of being aware, which is resting in what I call your true self or awareness itself, is not an action you perform. It's not a method. It's your original being where you're naturally inhabiting. In this space, you are not doing awareness. You are living as awareness. This approach is not about cultivating awareness as if it was a skill or a state that you need to achieve. It's not about cultivating it like a muscle. It's about acknowledging that you are and have always been this awareness. Embracing this essence, your true self, allows you to see that your desires are not separate from you. They are integral aspects of your own expansive nature. So by merely recognizing and resting in your inherent awareness, you manifest your desires without struggling in the physical realm, without the strain or struggle typically associated with conventional manifesting techniques or discipline. So if you gently return to this awareness when you feel like it during your day, you'll find that reconnecting with your true nature becomes a natural occurrence. You don't need to enforce discipline, practice it intensively like a skill, or exert willpower. Instead, simply engage with the guided pause question. Are you aware that you are aware? Use this question out of genuine curiosity to observe what is unfolding in the present moment, in this very second. The more you settle into the reality of being awareness itself, which is another way of saying just being, the more your life effortlessly aligns with this truth, allowing all kinds of manifestations, your specific desires, to unfold naturally. The moment you're aware of your desire, remember, you are already it. This means there is no longer a need to engage in exhaustive techniques like flipping your thoughts, constant affirmations, scripting, intense visualizing sessions, specific breathing methods, acting as if, using subliminal tapes. Whenever you find yourself entangled in mental stories or narratives, remember to rest in this awareness. This awareness itself is the source of all manifestations. So simply pause, rest, and immerse yourself in what you truly desire. My approach is not about doing something to manifest. It's about being in your true essence. By residing or resting in awareness, you manifest naturally because awareness itself shapes your reality. This understanding frees you from the need to struggle with your thoughts or your emotions or to force certain outcomes. So just pause, rest, and experience your desires as they are automatically manifesting in your life, revealing that everything you seek is already a part of who you are. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.